are listening to the most original talk radio station anywhere. We are LA Talk Radio at latalkradio.com.
You're listening to Oscar's Guitar Shop with Oscar Jordan, right here on LA Talk Radio.
What were they, psychos?
They look like psychos? Is that what they look like? They were vampires. Psychos do not explode when sunlight hits them. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of Oscar's Guitar Shop. I'm Vintage Guitar Magazine contributing writer Oscar Jordan. And once again, I am burdened with glorious purpose. Yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, we got a great show for you today. But first, I'd like to take this time out to personally thank Carl Clark. Hey, Carl Clark, thank you. Carl Clark is from Carrollton, Kentucky. I want to thank him for his generous donation to the show. Carl, you are the man. You are the man, and I'm very grateful that you appreciate this fine program enough to show your financial support. Feel free to call anytime, because you are a man, and you are the man. Call in anytime you want. Ask any stupid questions you want, man. I really, really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to support the show, go to oscarsguitarshop.com. Click on the donations to the show button. Give $1, $5, 35 cents. I'll take whatever I can get. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me on the air. It doesn't get past me. I really appreciate it, and it takes a lot to keep this train running, and I will keep doing this. Also, what you can do is buy from the sponsors. We have some wonderful sponsors. It's great stuff. You're a guitar freak, right? Right? You play guitar because that's why you're listening to the show. Analog Man and True Tone Music have everything you could possibly ever want because you're a guitar player. You know, what wouldn't you need that they have? They've got it. And when they're happy, I'm happy. So make them happy and buy their stuff. They have great stuff. When you need something, just go there. You'll be helping them, and you'll be helping Oscar's Guitar Shop. Also, just say, hey, Oscar sent me. So there you go. Oscar's Guitar Shop is powered by Analog Man Guitar Effects, providing everything you need between your amp and guitar. Visit them at analogman.com. Also, True Tone Music at truetonemusic.com, making your music come to life. And now, it's time. Lyle Workman used to be in this band back in the 80s called Bourgeois Tagg. Well, that was a long time ago, ladies and gentlemen. And today, Workman has gone on to do amazing things. As a thin line playing badass, he went on to tour with Sting, Todd Rundgren, Frank Black, and played on records by Jellyfish, Alanis Morissette, Shakira, and Michael Bublé. He's also lent his artistry to drummer Tony Williams, Beck, and the soundtrack to Sons of Anarchy, and has gone on to create some of the most memorable soundtracks in movie history. Kicking and Screaming, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Get Him to the Greek, Superbad, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone, and that's the short list. His peers have called him a musician of consummate skill, creativity, and taste. And his solo records, Purple Passages, Tabula Rasa, and Harmonic Crusader, are frighteningly wonderful records that you need to check out if you know what's good for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the great Lyle Workman. Yeah. That's for you, man.
Wow. Thank you all for coming. All right, I'll call you later.
Call me, Lyle. I love you.
I think you've done all the work here. I think I can go now, right?
Yeah, I have. I think I have, man. So how have you been?
I've been great.
Wait. The music's starting again because we just can't get enough. Hold on. Let me just check this out. Hold on. Wait a minute. That's a good song. That's it. Okay, we got that now. Man, it's good to see you.
Thank you for having me, Oscar. Really great to be here.
I met Lyle a few years ago. I did a big special thing for Premier Guitar Magazine. We did the big round table discussion where we had the top session guys in the universe all together in one room talking about how wonderful they are and all the wonderful things they do and all the sessions they played on and the ups and downs and the glorious stuff that they have performed. And you were part of that. And
let me clarify that. Each one of us we were talking about how wonderful the other person was.
Exactly.
I wasn't saying how wonderful I was, and then
Yeah, it did turn into a love fest for one another because.
Definitely.
Because I as I remember it, you had done the Superbad soundtrack, and I had seen the documentary of how you conducted the sessions, and I was like, oh my God, he's with the baddest funk dudes in the world, and he gets to direct them, and he gets to sit with them and funk out. Meanwhile, Brian Thomas from the Paul McCartney band is there, and you're going on about him.
Brian Ray.
Brian Ray. 'Cause, he's got three names. Brian Thomas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about the Thomas.
Well, because they don't.
That's just between you and him.
That's just because he has an amp named after him at Divided by 13, and they call it the BTR.
Oh, okay.
They do. For some reason, they can't just have two letters. They have to. So I got that confused. But anyway, you are correct. So you were going on because he gets to play with Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
And then Steve Stevens was going on about Pete Thorne because he gets to, you know what I mean? It was just like this love fest.
Right. And Brian does still play with Paul, as far as I know. But it was really fun. Who else? It was Steve Stevens and Pete Thorne, myself, Frank Symes.
Frank Symes, yes.
Who I just saw with the Who a couple weeks ago.
Right.
About a month ago.
Yes. It was really, really cool.
And Eric Skirmahorn.
That's right. That's right. It was just an amazing group of players, and it was really cool. Your resume is fairly well documented, as amazing as it is, because of the soundtrack work, and you got to. I posted this photo of you playing with Sting on Facebook, and that just blows me away. I'm a big Sting fan, and that's got to be really cool. But I need to know. Where did you come from? Where does all this begin?
Well, I was born and raised in San Jose, California, the town that Steve Jobs built. Well, many big companies are there, but just a kid that loved the Beatles like a lot of us, and picked up a guitar. My dad came home from work playing guitar and playing Johnny Cash and cowboy songs, and then so I see him playing the guitar, and then the Beatles, and oh my gosh, it's the biggest thing ever, cultural explosion. And so there was a guitar lying around the house, and listening to Beatle records, and my dad showed me the basic open chords, and I started teaching myself Beatles songs. So I had the ear, and kind of progressed from there.
Right. Now, as far as career goes, I hate to keep harping on this, but I was like there in the 80s. I was the guy that was watching MTV videos.
Right.
And I was a huge fan of Bourgeois Tagg.
Oh, cool.
And I remember seeing those videos, and then I remember when I was doing research on you, I went, that's the guy who played guitar for that band back then.
Yeah.
What happened between the time when you were learning Beatles songs to joining Bourgeois Tagg, as far as like career-wise?
Well, the progression goes from playing in the bedroom to playing in bands, garage bands, and then playing in club bands. And that's I was playing in the San Jose area with a group, and that circuit had a lot of local bands, including this band called Uncle Rainbow. And in that band was Brent Bourgeois and Larry Tagg, and it's a fairly small community. You know who's playing in the area. We get friendly, and they liked my playing and asked me to join their band. And so that was Bourgeois Tagg. And I was in that band for, I think, about 8 months before we got signed.
Wow.
And did 2 records with Island Records. I don't know how fast forward you want me to go, if you want to stop there.
Well, no, because as I understand it, that led to you meeting Todd Rundgren.
Yeah, because Todd had produced our last record, and he had asked our band to be his band in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And so for 2 years, I played and toured and recorded with Todd.
God.
Yeah. And
he's like, this was the late 80s?
This would have been 89 and 90.
Wow, what?
Yeah.
That's Todd. Todd Rundgren is like the producer's producer.
Yeah.
And that must have been like you were in school.
Oh man, it was a dream come true. To get to play, you work all your life, and then suddenly you're in a position where you're working with these people you admired for forever. So it's a really great feeling.
Right.
And just to play his music was a dream, and I had a great time.
And I can hear how there's a connection between the style of Bourgeois Tagg and that kind of a pop sensibility that Rundgren has, and to like your later work.
Ah.
And I could the sense of melody.
Yeah.
And chord movement, particularly when I think about when you play with Jellyfish.
Right.
That there's this sense of melody that you have that's running through all your, even with the funk stuff. And speaking of that, I just want to play this little clip because I thought this was pretty cool. You sent me this, so I got to play it.
Okay, sure.
Welcome to the party, baby. Yeah. Let me get my freak on.
And that's obviously Bootsy from the Superbad soundtrack, right?
Hip him up.
Tight, man. McLovin.
Bootsy is the coolest person I've ever met in my life. He just exudes cool like you wouldn't believe.
Did he wear the big hat to the sessions?
Yeah. He toned it down about maybe 5% from what you see, but he was just the coolest, and I don't know. he said in the little lyrics that we'd give him the director would give him some little lines to say that relate to the film, and he interjected, "Let me play with the hand of funk." Now that was a direct reference to me talking to the band, the assembled band, because it appeared that the best way to proceed is to sort of direct people in real time with the microphone as I was playing guitar and we were going through the cues. And so, sometimes I would put up my hand, and at one point I said, just follow the hand of funk. And everybody laughed, this white guy, Follow, and so that's why Bootsy calls out, "You play with the hand of funk now, Bobbas."
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I met him once, and he's a character, but
he's the greatest.
He can, and and for those people out there who don't know this, you could find it on YouTube, but there's this video of Bootsy. He's like 16 years old with this fucked up afro.
Wow.
And he's playing with James Brown, and James Brown gives him a bass solo.
Yeah.
And he's like 16, and he's like 6'3" or 4" or something like that.
I haven't seen that.
And he's got this fucked up ass afro, and he's the skinny, tall kid with this lopsided afro, and he's just funking and they gave him some, and he just took it, and you know why he's in the band, and it's just historic. It's historic stuff,
Yeah, he brought it. I mean, and then some for those sessions, but very serious about his art, serious about what he does, and I just love the guy. He was so much fun to work with.
Yeah. Okay, so back to you, Mr. Workman. How do you go from being like a side guy, Bourgeois Tagg, Todd Rundgren, to getting into soundtrack composing?
Vitamins.
Yes. Glucosamine chondroitin or what?
Chondroitin.
Yeah. Vitamin D, baby.
Yeah. How do I go from Bourgeois Tagg to soundtracks? It's baby steps. It's moving down to Los Angeles was a big move for me, and just being part of the session scenario, working with a company that wrote music for commercials. As a guitar player, they said, you write too. Familiar with your work with the band, you want to try writing some of these commercials, and so that was my first start in working to picture, and it just progressed from that to just working with a composer. And
so wait. We can't gloss over this.
Okay.
This is very, because this is like I don't care about the audience now.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, how do you fucking do this? So you're on a session.
Let me just say that I always care about the audience.
I never care about the audience because I'm here for me. I want to know. I am honestly interested in how you get to be you and your creative process. So seriously, so it's like you're on a session, and then the producer says you also write. That's what he says to you?
This is I'm specifically talking about working for an agency that wrote music for commercials. Cadillac and Reebok and things like that.
So the agency approached you?
Well, I had someone approached me because they knew of my work. They were familiar with my work in the band.
Okay.
And that kind of escalated to, well, we know of your work. We love your guitar playing. Feel free to try your shot at writing some of these, because these big agencies, sometimes they'd get an account, and they would still make a certain amount of money, but they would farm it off to a team of writers, and so I was just one of them,
right? And
started getting a couple accounts.
And so did you know someone's cousin? Were you dating someone's sister? Or did they say, I love that? Somebody just say, I love that guy's playing, and they...
Okay, well, if you want me to be very specific, Brent Bourgeois produced a record, artist named David Groh, who was, I guess, living in Chico at the time. He moves to Los Angeles. He starts work himself as working on his own music, but also working at an agency, the same agency. And so David was familiar with my work through Bourgeois Tagg. He hired me to play on his record, and when he started doing the work for the commercial agency, he brought me in to work with him, and then I started working with the agency, and that's how that started. Does that make sense?
Yes. That's,
Okay.
See, I need to know the nitty gritty because when
Alrighty.
people, you
I'll
read
be
these
more
articles,
specific.
because when you read these articles, it's like, oh, I just popped out of the ground and I started writing for Judd Apatow.
It's all, it's all word of mouth. It's
Yeah.
all, I worked with this guy, and this guy talked about me to this guy. That's how it's always been up to this day.
And it's really about if you do good work and it gets out, they go, oh, he does good work. I wonder if he'll do this, and it just leaves.
Exactly.
That's great. Speaking of good work, check this out. Can you name this tune, sir?
This is it. Yep. Don't be afraid, children.
Lyle Workman wrote that. These are ideas that came from his brain, and he transferred the information from his brain to a computer console that created music that we're hearing now. First there was nothing.
Yeah.
Then there was this.
I had a lot of vitamins that day. That was a discarded cue for Superbad.
Mm-hmm.
It's the scene where he has this dream of going into to buy beer or liquor at a store, and he ends up with his fight with the security guard and gets his throat slashed.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in his head. And so that was probably one of 4 or 5 different pieces of music I wrote for that scene, and that was the discarded, unused cue.
The unused cue.
The debris.
Very cool. That's very cool.
I was getting my Frank Zappa honor there.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of that kind of thing going.
It all seeps through. It all gets in there. Like you're mentioning melodic, kind of a thread of melodicism, and that that's just where I come from. I mean, when you grow up on the Beatles,
there you go.
You can't help but be melodic,
Now, are you when you were coming up? I know that your dad showed you some stuff.
Yeah.
Are you a sight reader?
Yes, I'm great at reading whole notes at tempo. Quarter note equals 34 BPMs. I can sight read, but I'm not super fast at it.
Mm-hmm. So basically, when all those classic iconic funk players came into the session for Superbad, you passed out all this paperwork.
Everything.
Okay, we're gonna start on bar 4 here, and you're gonna go up, but we're gonna modulate. It's not written, so just know we're gonna go up a fifth. And then you were like calling out instructions, and they all said, "Okay, yes, boss." Right?
Yeah, I knew that wasn't going to work at all. I mean, the first thing that happened is, I had everything was written out because you have orchestrators, you have this company that's their job is to have all the music there provided at the session, and I knew it was probably not going to be used. I'd sent the music out. I demoed up every cue ahead of time and sent it out to all the players. And precisely, it's Bootsy, Collins, Bernie Worrell, John Jabbo Starks, and Clyde Stubblefield. So that was the core. And then Jerry Hay and his group of horn players, incredible players. And Jeff Babco rounded out on keys. And so I sent the music out to everybody because I wanted them to be comfortable. This is the way that we do things in sessions and in movies is a totally different thing than a lot of people do their music. So I found out right away. Well, the first thing that happened is the first people that showed up at the session at Capitol was Jabbo and Clyde, and he walks in and he sees the drums and he sees all the music stands and Jabbo says, "What's this?" And he's pointing at a music stand. And he goes, "I don't even know what that is." And I said, "That's percussion. You just hit that with a stick." He goes, "Okay." So
it has a sound
that
all
gave
its
me,
own.
That was an inkling. Like, we're probably going to just have to let's just go over each cue and just rehearse them as a band, and just record them that way. And that's the way it went down. We had a click track to get us into the top of the the downbeat, but after the first take of the first cue, I realized the click was just going to be a bummer.
Right.
It's just not what those guys do. So the click would count us in, and they'd turn it off, and it was really no problem. I mean, it was a couple times like, okay, we're getting a little off from the scene. We have to slow down a bit here, or we're speeding a little too much. But but it really wasn't an issue. And I couldn't have been happier with the results.
Yeah. If you guys go online, you'll see. I think there's some clips on YouTube of all those guys sitting together working through the stuff, and it's really cool. I want to play this. This is something a little bit different, but cool nonetheless. Lyle Workman, this is your life. It all began as a poor black child in Beverly Hills. They gave him a guitar at the age of 3. Yeah, this is very cool. This is from the incredible Burt Wonderstone, which I just saw this past week, and I really so twisted and dark. I love that movie.
Cool, man. When you're told to write something like this, do they give you temp tracks to give you an idea what they're looking for? Temp track is a replacement track that they say, I like something that sounds like this, and then you do something else in that vein. Is that what they do? That's correct. And sometimes a movie will have it temped all the way through, and sometimes there'll be scenes that we want some music here, but we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Give us something. So it runs the gamut. Sometimes it's just we just have music here. Just we know where it's supposed to stop and start, but we're not really happy with it. So or it could be we love everything about this music. Just don't copy it.
Right.
So it could run.
And you know how long it's going to be, and you know the stylistic what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. That's awesome. I want to move on to your solo record. Your last one, Harmonic Crusader, which is people. You guitar freaks out there. This record is really, really cool. It's a buffet. It's a buffet of just all these great musical styles. I'm just gonna just shut up and just play this thing here because this is let me see, what should I play? Oh yeah, I'll play this. Check this out. Yeah. Called Behemoth's Ball. Yeah, very cool. Damn, Lyle Workman, you play guitar, don't you? Oh, damn, that's some serious. Okay. True Tone Music is a virtual candy store for guitarists and bass players. They're world famous for having the best selection of new, used, and vintage guitars in the Los Angeles area. Located at 714 Santa Monica Boulevard in the city of Santa Monica, True Tone Music offers the widest selection of exceptionally high-quality guitars and basses. They stock name brands like Fender, Gibson, Guild, Epiphone, Gretsch, and much, much more. It's where the top names in the music industry shop for guitars, basses, amps, boutique pedals, and accessories. Whether you want to buy, sell, trade, get guitar lessons, or repairs, True Tone Music super cool staff is there to make your music come to life. Much like Lyle Workman's work. You've heard that song. They will do that.
You know, I also shop at True Tone Music.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. I love those guys. I buy a lot of stuff there.
You probably have the Lyle Workman shopping cart at True Tone, and you just load up, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Ken over there does. He's a cool guy. He does great stuff.
Great people.
Yeah. When was the last time you were over there?
6 years. No, just kidding. I was there maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I go there and I go, damn, man, I'm going to have to sell something to get something here, man.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great, the great stuff.
The
man.
pedals, man.
Awesome. They'll also match any online price and back it up with top-notch customer support and service. Visit them. I say visit them online at TrueToneMusic.com or call 310-393-8232. That's 310-393-8232. Talk to Ken. Said Lyle Workman says shop there, get a shopping cart, and just load up. Tell them Oscar sent you, too. You'll get treated like a king because that's what they do. They say, hey, come on in. What are you looking for? And they'll take care of you. That's what they do. So this tune that we just played, it is called Behemoth's Ball.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for that?
Vitamins?
Vitamins.
No. I can't keep using that joke.
Protein shakes.
Yeah, you know, I just sit down and play my guitar and move my fingers around. When it sounds good, I start to record it. I mean, it sounds really like a flip answer, but there was really no inspiration other than just letting. I don't feel like I write it. I feel like I'm finding it, you know. Mm-hmm. Just kind of map the whole thing out from start to end. Usually I'm with just one guitar part, and when I hear that track, which is every day. No, I'm just kidding. I marvel at Vinnie Colaiuta and Jimmy Johnson, and that rhythm section. I brought the track over to Vinnie's studio. It's a little drum studio, tiny, and I think I recorded them twice, from start to finish. Mm-hmm. I'd sent them an audio. No, I didn't have charts. I just sent an audio, which was really literally was just a click track and a guitar outlining the chords and the basic fundamentals of the track. It wasn't all filled up like this, and they just learned it.
Wow, because there's a lot of sections in that song.
A lot of sections, and they're just so phenomenal, man. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, I really feel that they make my music happen.
Yeah.
It's just a treat looking at those records as a kid, like, oh, Vinny's playing on the Frank Zappa record, and now I get to work with him and play with him. We played in Sting's band together, and sessions with Jimmy, and just it's just remarkable, man. It's a blessing.
Yeah, to have someone of that those guys of that caliber, you know, playing your compositions, it's got to be just surreal.
It really is. They make it work.
Man, very cool. Well, you know, as much as I love the record and I love that tune, I remember when this is a few years ago after we did that roundtable interview, you gave me your CD, and I remember driving in my car, and you know, I said, "Oh man, this dude is just like this epic recording." And people get it wherever you. I don't know if it's at Amazon or on your website, but check it out. But anyway, this song that I'm going to play right now this is the thing that spoke to me the most because this is kind of where I live.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm bracing myself.
Really? Hold on tight. See, this is me sitting in Paris in the 1930s drinking a cappuccino, and the Nazis are walking by.
Wow.
And I'm going, hi there.
You look really good, by the way.
But they don't mess with me because I'm in uniform. They go, oh, black guy in a Nazi uniform. Hey, you know, we'll leave him alone because he's playing cool music. I love this. This is called Ode to the King from Harmonic Crusader. Welcome to 1939, ladies and gentlemen. It's very beautiful. Lyle Workman.
Yes.
Where does that come from?
I'm wondering what percentage of your sleepers, of your listeners, are now falling asleep.
No, they're not. This is cool stuff. I am a closet. I'm not even in the closet. I am out of the closet. I'm a big a gypsy jazz guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not very good at playing it. I work on because it's all arpeggios and just it's that style, and I don't know any gypsy jazz guys, so I can't play it with other people, which is that's the whole point of it. But I study it. And where does this come from for you?
It's just love of Django.
Mm-hmm.
For my money, it all starts with him.
Mm.
I mean, you just hear everything there. There's Chuck Berry right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just the bends and I just he just completely freaks me out. How good and how inventive he was as a player. And that music to me is the happiest music on the planet. It's that music and African music. That's like
We are soul brothers in the Django school of clubbism, man. I love it. It is very happy.
Yeah.
And the joy of life that comes out of that. The gypsy, the caravans, Paris, the dancing around the campfire.
It's so uplifting and I just hearing Django. I mean, and then I love it. Like he does this crazy, amazing solo, and then he'll go right into the rhythm, and then just like this rhythm playing. I mean, come on, it's so inspirational to me. I love it.
And all with two fingers.
I didn't believe that for the longest time. I said, there's no way. But there's about 30 seconds or a minute of footage where you see him. That's the way. That's the way he played.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, I'm a big. In fact, one of my editors that I work for at Vintage Guitar Magazine, his name is Michael Dregney. He wrote a book about Django Reinhardt. I'm going to have him on the show in the future, and it's very comprehensive. It's like the book, the Django book, everything you wanted to know, all the dirt, because Django wasn't a nice guy. He just lived and he played his ass off, and he knew he was a bad motherfucker, and he knew it, and he kind of took advantage of that. But he was one of those kind of guys that I'm a bad motherfucker, and I don't want to play this month. And then he'd just pick it up and play like nothing happened. You know, he's just one of these guys.
A bit of a free spirit.
Yeah, he would play, and then he wouldn't play, and he'd get in debt. Okay, I guess I got to play again and make some more money. You know, and he was just brilliant, and he's my favorite guitar player. But you know what? As I don't have a tangent for this, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Don't miss the LA Guitar Pedal Expo.
Oh, yeah.
On Sunday, April 7th, at the Airtel Plaza Hotel in Van Nuys, California. That's right. It's a world-class event focusing entirely on effects pedals and accessories for guitar and bass. Django Reinhardt will not be there, by the way. Just wanted to say. Come check out the coolest effects pedals in the world in spacious ballrooms and private demo rooms that allow for superior sound quality without distraction. You can be alone with a pedal. Yes. Private rooms have no volume restrictions. You can do whatever you want.
You can take a pedal in a private room?
You can take it into a private room, bring your own lotion, some Kleenex. You're good, man.
Oh, gosh.
Meet pedal aficionados and get in on trades with other attendees of your used pedals. Become eligible for prizes such as Custom Tones Ethos Amp and other great prizes from Earthquaker, Boss, Bogner, and Pigtronics. And don't miss surprise performances and special demos throughout the day. Public admission is $10. Show hours are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Airtel Plaza Hotel, 7277 Valjean Avenue in beautiful Van Nuys, California. For more information, visit the website at guitarpedalexpo.com or contact Lonnie Spector at 818-992-0745. Yes. Yeah. I like how you just grabbed the vibe from that. What I dig about it is there's a lot that the record has all this going on, a lot of electric, and then you bring out this acoustic vibe, and it kind of gives it a nice shape. The entire record, Harmonic Crusader, it gives them some tasty vibe to that. I want to play this. I'm digging this too. Can you name this tune, Lyle Workman? What can this be? He doesn't know his own songs. How do you like that?
You know what happens? I end up forgetting the titles. It's like, oh, I know that. I remember everything about recording it.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It's from the album Harmonic Crusader that you wrote. You wrote the entire album. And the song is called Nothing Left Unsaid.
Oh, yes.
I love the textures in this song. That's why I chose it. I hate to do this, but I'm going to do a little drop-in and then I'll shut up. If you truly care about your guitar tone, then you already know that Analog Man Guitar Effects makes the best stomp boxes in the world. Analog Man Guitar Effects has only one mission: to help you get your sound. They specialize in high-end, boutique, and custom-made pedals used by the best guitar players in the music business. They manufacture, modify, buy, sell, and repair vintage and new effects pedals, and their customer service is tops. Their fuzz pedals, overdrives, compressors, chorus pedals, boosters, and delay pedals are truly awesome and chock full of analog goodness. Visit analogman.com, online at analogman.com, and check out their huge selection of pedals and accessories. Once again, that's analogman.com. Analog Man guitar effects, everything you need between your amp and guitar. Man, there's some beautiful textures in this. And you got some, is that pedal steel or slide?
It's slide guitar. And again, I gotta give props to Jeff Babko.
Wow.
On keys here.
That's awesome.
Gary Novak on drums, Jimmy Earl on bass.
That is sweet, man. So tell me, what's next for you in the Lyle Workman work schedule?
Well, a lot of my time is taken up by film projects, the movies, the soundtracks. I'll be on them months at a time. And in between that, sessions when they come, and then working on my own music. I've started something recently.
Wow.
Yeah, so I try to keep it busy.
That's very awesome. Yeah. Well, Lyle Workman, we're at that special part of the show. It's one of our favorites, and it's called The Burning Question. Lyle Workman, are you ready for the burning question?
Depends.
All righty.
What the question is.
The topic is soundtrack composers. Are you ready?
Oh my God.
Danny Elfman? Or Trevor Rabin? Danny Elfman?
Wait,
or Trevor Rabin?
Well, I got to give it to Danny Elfman if we're talking about soundtrack composers, but Trevor Rabin's fantastic.
Well, they're both great.
They're both great, but if I have
people.
to pick one over the other in terms of film composing, well, then that's my choice.
That's your choice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's one. I'm glad you said that. That's very political, and you're not going to be. They're both going to love you when they show up at your house.
Got to give.
Well, cool.
Oh.
Well, that's our show. I'd like to thank our special guest, Lyle Workman, who did some work on this song, if you remember back to the good old days.
Oh, yeah.
Set mind to purpose and visit him at lyleworkman.com and purchase every piece of music he has ever written. Also, purchase the album Harmonic Crusader as soon as humanly possible wherever cool music is sold. We'd like to thank our sponsors, analogman.com Guitar Effects, providing everything you need between your amp and guitar. Visit them at analogman.com. Also, True Tone Music at truetonemusic.com, making your music come to life. Go to OscarsGuitarShop.com if you want to contribute to the show, and tune in next week when Oscar Jordan goes deep undercover at the first annual LA Guitar Pedal Expo and comes back with enough incriminating evidence to send everybody to jail for 500 years. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other. See you next week. Same bat time. Same bat channel.